Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. I am MAISARAH binti JUNAIDI. We are from Group 3 and today I will be presenting an overview of Malaysia's National Tourism Policy 2020 until 2030 and why it plays such an important role in shaping the future of our tourism industry. Malaysia's tourism sector has always been one of the country's main economic contributors. But in recent years, the global tourism landscape has changed quickly. Countries are becoming more competitive, travelers are more demanding, and digital technology is transforming how people choose destinations. Because of these changes, Malaysia reached a crucial turning point where this transformation was no longer optional, but necessary. The national tourism policy was designed to respond to these challenges and ensure that the industry remains strong and relevant. To understand how this policy came about, let's look at the timeline. The idea for a new tourism policy first surfaced in 2019 as the government recognized the need for a long-term, future-ready direction. By August 2019, the government announced that the new policy would be officially introduced in 2020. However, in early 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic began and severely affected global travel, causing one of the worst declines the tourism industry had ever experienced. Despite the crisis, Malaysia pushed forward. On 23 December 2020, the National Tourism Policy 2020 until 2030 was officially launched by the Prime Minister as a blueprint to rebuild and transform the sector. Implementation began in 2021, and by 2022, the government introduced initiatives such as the Special Tourism Investment Zones, also known as TIS, to promote investment and strengthen public-private partnerships. Today, the policy continues under the 13 Malaysia Plan, guiding Malaysia's efforts to position itself as a leading global destination by 2030. This introduction sets the foundation for understanding why this policy is so important and how it helps to future-proof Malaysia's tourism industry.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti NURZAITY ANISA binti Muhammad ZAILANI and my student's ID number is 2025124429. And in my part, I'm going to present to you the National Tourism Policy from 2020 until 2030's problems. So as you can see here, this is the first problems from this policy, which is tourism crisis and their repercussions in Malaysia's country most popular destinations. The primary and perhaps the most salient policy problems is the incidents, cases, issue, events that happens to affect the Malaysia country's most popular tourist attractions. For instance, some of the series of crises have often and adversely affected Malaysia tourism's industry over the previous 20 years. As you can see here, a significant drops in foreign visitor numbers across Southeast Asia and affected the viability of particular travel-related industry and location. Since 2007, growth rates often been over 5%, but in 2011 they going to decrease, like slowed, as it is the result of negative global economic conditions. What kind of incidents then? This includes the regional war, threat, and as you can see here, I list down like instance of terrorism, the 1997 Asia financial crisis, the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, and followed by the epidemic of avian influenza, the bird flu, and most popular cases, as we know, like H1N1 cases, H1N1 diseases, which is coming from swine flu. And here, the second of policy problems is tourism growth caused by the environment in some areas. According to Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture 2025 from MOHD, the popular islands and marine areas have seen coral damage, trash, overcrowding, and other harms coming from the mass tourism. For example, the Perhentian Islands, affected by the environmental impact from tourism pressure. Also, we have Redang Islands stated in the research and journalism reported they are coral bleaching, trash, and human-related reef damage linked to rising of visitor number. Tourism was not spread equally like some states got most of the visitor, others were left out. As it also can be one of the reasons of the big pressure over the certain tourism places that lead to the damage. Tourism activity in Malaysia is concentrated in certain states or locations like Langkawi, Penang, Kuala Lumpur, islands. But while rural and interior states receive far fewer visitors, producing unequal benefits. Even the ministry itself recognized the uneven distributions problem. Not least, for the third policy problem is many tourism businesses were slow to go digital. Additionally, from studies on Malaysia homestay and community-based tourism operator, it reveals the lack of digital skills and a sluggish adoption of online platform. Although digital adoptions increased during the epidemic, broader market studies shows that SME still confronts gaps in digital marketing, payment integrations, language use, and competencies, especially when the industry was not prepared for the crisis, like COVID-19. The tourism sector witnessed a very big fall of international arrivals and receipts during COVID-19, showing the inadequacies in crisis, preparedness, and necessity for resilience strategy. The tourism direct gross domestic product (GDP), which plummeted by 72% to 28.5 billion ringgit from 102 billion ringgit in 2015. Also, it is reflect the effect of the epidemics. That is why the development of digital promotions and other innovations will make things easier and better in the future.
Assalamualaikum, my name is NURANNIA binti JAFFERY. Today, I will present of my part is policy objective. The overall objective is to formulate a national tourism policy based on the principle of the competitiveness, sustainability, and inclusiveness to place Malaysia as a global top 10 tourism destination. The first objective is to competitiveness. It can help to strengthen Malaysia's tourism competitiveness by embrace smart tourism, innovation, and digital technology to enhance tourist experience and industry efficiency. This means the policy aims to enhance competitiveness and of the tourism industry. This include upgrade the infrastructure such as airports, road, and public transport. This is to improve service quality in hotel, restaurant, and tourist attraction, and supporting digital transformation in tourism business. By doing this, Malaysia hopes to remain competitive compared to the regional destination and to recover more quickly from crises such as economic downturn. The second objective is sustainability. Together with the United Nations Development Programme (UNDP), is launched the Sustainable Tourism Recovery Project. This is to empowering local tourism communities have for more sustainable sectors. This means that tourism development should protect the environment, respect local communities, and preserve cultural heritage. For example, the policy encourage ecotourism and community-based tourism, where local people can benefit directly from tourism activities while maintaining their tradition and way of life. Sustainable tourism is important to ensure that the popular destinations are not overexploited, are not damaged for future generations. Next, the third objective is inclusiveness. The government promotes inclusive tourism, investment zone, and collaboration between the private sector, government, and local communities. This shows that they need to improve coordination between government agency, the private sector, and the local communities. Tourism is a cross-cutting sector, so effective cooperation is needed in areas such as security, health, environment, culture, and transportation. The policy tries to create
a more integrated and whole-of-government approach of tourism development. And the last objective is to be in top 10 tourism destination by expanding high-value tourism products such as ecotourism, heritage tourism, Muslim-friendly tourism, and adopting digital marketing and smart tourism initiative. It's aimed to produce a more skilled tourism workforce through training, education, and professional development program. Tour guides, hospitality workers, and tourism entrepreneurs are encouraged to upgrade their skill, including language ability, digital literacy, and customer service. This helps to improve the overall experience for visitors and support long-term growth of the sectors.
My name is NURANNIA ARRISHA BINTI SHAMSUL AZHAR 2025158067, and I will explain the four main strategies under the National Tourism Policy 2020 to 2030. So first strategy is smart tourism. This means using digital tools such as apps, online booking, QR codes, and cashless payment to make travel easier. This strategy supports the NTP objective of improving competitiveness. By using technology, Malaysia can provide modern and efficient service to tourism. For example, MDEC, Malaysia Digital Economic Cooperation, introduced the Digital Tourism Innovative Lab, DTIL, to help develop tourism apps and online service. MIDA, Malaysia Investment Development Authority, also explained that smart tourism improves experience, efficiency, and sustainability. The second strategy is to strengthen tourism management or governance. This means improving planning, organizing, and monitoring in the tourism sector. These strategies support the NTP objective of sustainability. With proper management, we can protect natural areas, cultural sites, and local communities. For example, MOHD, Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, create the Tourism Recovery Plan (PRE) after COVID-19. The government worked together with hotel, tourism group, and other sectors to ensure tourism activity was safe and environmental friendly. The third strategy is improve tourism experience or high-value tourism. This focus on giving tourists meaningful and quality experience, not just a big number of visitors. High-value tourism include ecotourism, cultural tourism, heritage tour, and advantage activities. This support the NTP objective of inclusiveness. For example, the National Ecotourism Plan 2016 to 2025 encouraged community involvement in national parks and eco parks. This giving local people opportunity to become guides, homestay hosts, or craft seller. When local take part, they help protect culture and nature too. And the last strategy is promoting domestic tourism. This means encourage Malaysia to travel within the country. This strategy support the NTP objective of making Malaysia a top 10 tourist destination. A strong local tourist sector show that Malaysia is active and ready to welcome international tourists. After COVID-19, Malaysia lost many international visitors. So, campaign like Jom Cuti-Cuti Malaysia encourage Malaysia to travel locally. This help rebuild the national economy and keep tourism businesses alive. So, all these strategies work together to strengthen Malaysia's tourism industry and ensure long-term growth. So, I will continue explaining about strength of the National Tourism Policy 2020 to 2030. The first strength is Malaysia's strong focus on nature-based tourism and ecotourism. This means promoting activities that involve our forests, beaches, islands, and rural areas, not just our city. It attracts tourists who love nature and prefer eco-friendly activity. So, for example, the government give approval of 51 nature-based tourism projects worth RM2.4 billion, especially in Sabah and Sarawak. These include eco-resort, nature park, rural adventure sports. These show Malaysia is serious about protecting nature while still growing the tourism industry. The second strength is community and rural tourism, which is all about involving local people. This gives villagers chances to run homestays, sell craft, offer local foods and become guides. It helps them earn income and feel proud of their culture. So one great example is Kiwilu Farmstay in Sabah. This project has helped the community earn money through homestay, food, craft and tours. More than RM270,000 in asset was given to support them, and local leaders were trained to manage daily activities. This is a good example of tourism that benefit everyone, not just a big company. So the third strength is Malaysia push for digitalization and innovation in tourism. This includes things like online booking, cashless payment and tourism apps. Digital tools make traveling easier and safer, especially in post-pandemic world. So a clear example is the Go Selangor Super App. With this app, tourists can all explore attraction, book hotel and pay online all in one place, all in the apps. It makes the whole travel process faster and smoother. By embracing technology, Malaysia become more modern and competitive compared to other tourist destinations. And the last strength is the strong cooperation between the government and private company through Special Tourism Investment Zone (STIZ). Investors are encouraged to build eco-resort, wellness center and tourism facility. MIDA continue to promote this zone to attract both local and international investors. This help improve our infrastructure, create jobs and support long-term tourism growth. This cooperation is important because tourism cannot grow alone. It needs teamwork. So together, this strength help Malaysia create a tourism industry that is sustainable, inclusive and ready for the future.
Here in this part, I'm going to show you and present to you about the weaknesses from this policy. There are five of it, but in this slide, you can see 3 of it. So the first one is the strategic conflict between achieving deep quality-based sustainability and optimizing tourist volume. One of the fundamental weaknesses is the strategy indirectly retains a desire for increased the arrivals, which fundamentally yet clash with the sustainability objective, particularly for fragile environment assets. The policy ambitions to be a top 10 tourism destination is intrinsically at conflict with the requirements for strong environmental preservation and sustainable development in delicate areas like marine park, for instance, that I have been said before, the Perhentian Island, one of the most popular coral reef islands on Peninsular Malaysia. The approach is criticized for restricting sustainability management, failing to provide the macro-level supervision necessary for instant environment preservation, particularly when they aiming for the high global rankings. And for the second weakness, you can see here, is about institutional coordinations and multi-sectoral governance are weak and decentralized, and could be leads to the duplications and disorganized planning. The other key weakness is when it is constantly undercut by the complicated multi-agency structure that lacks of central authority and poor inter-agency linkage between governments, ministry and more, which resulting in inconsistent executions and policy failure. Moreover, a lack of resilience in reaching out to foreign markets, also one of the result of weak partnership structure, coordination and multi-sectoral governance. The policy failure to establish ties with abroad travel agents demonstrate a lack of strong digitalized and resilient infrastructure to sustain continuous communication with global partners for the long-term development of international alliance for successful promotion. And the third one is, in light of ongoing governance and security flaws, the nation's worldwide reputation and branding are at risk. A history of governance shortcomings and high financial crisis that undermine the country's international image and overall brand confidence. Long to short stories. For instance, as we know the popular case of 1MDB, the One Malaysia Development Fund Berhad BHD scandals, the most serious corruptions and biggest mega corruption scandals, including billions of US dollar with gain from bribery, has been picked and placed on the former Malaysian Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Razak. For the fourth weaknesses of this policy is the fourth one is over-dependence on narrow traditional regional primary marketplace like Asian and East Asia. Furthermore, the industry is extremely vulnerable and unstable when those regions experience political, economic, or health shocks because the current market strategy is focused on neighboring markets such as particular regional market. The strategy is not clearly focused on the drawing of long-distance, higher spending tourists from the variety of markets. And last but not least, the weakness of this policy is low digital readiness and capability gaps among grassroots tourist operators, SMEs, and local communities limits effective product promotions. Rural tourism and agro-tourism play a major part in regional development by attracting tourists through their products and services, especially in Malaysia. However, some marginalized groups may find it is difficult to use social media platforms to promote SMEs. It's difficult for them to keep up with the demands of the social media and the preferred traditional marketing strategies. The smart tourism objectively fails to provide the adequate support to the majority of small businesses, SMEs, to market their new niche product effectively. And last, local small businesses, SMEs, and host community have structural obstacles like digital literacy gaps, resource constraint, and illiteracy problems, notwithstanding with the drive for digital transformations.
In this part, I will present several policy recommendations that are directly aligned with the weaknesses. Malaysia tourism sector requires strategic change post-COVID-19, focusing on the quality over quantity in tourism promotion. The government should attract high-value tourists by big market like eco-tourism, cultural, and heritage tourism and medical tourism. Additionally, enhancing coordination among federal agencies, state government, and the private sector is essential. Recommendation is to address Malaysia decline tourism market share. The recommendation includes diversifying source market by attracting visitors from Europe, the Middle East, and South Asia through target campaign and international partnership. The government should also rebuild relationship with travel agents by organizing trade musician familiarization trips. Additionally, by increasing awareness of Malaysian new tourism product through focused digital marketing campaign, collaboration with influencer, and data-driven promoting is essential. These strategies and recommendation aims to enhance coordination, support sustainable recovery, and respond to identified weaknesses in Malaysia tourism sector.
Next, I will present the third recommendations to address Malaysia's weaknesses in the tourism sector, especially in terms of international visibility and the MICE industry. The first recommendation is to restore Malaysia's global visibility. Before the pandemic, Malaysia has been recognized as a preferred destination for international meetings, events, and conferences. However, over time, especially after COVID-19, we began losing this competitive edge. Our visibility weakened as other countries became more aggressive in promoting their tourism and MICE sectors. To overcome this, Malaysia needs to revitalize its presence on the global stage through stronger branding, more active participation in international tourism events, and better promoting of our unique offerings. The second recommendation is to strengthen international marketing efforts. The pandemic significantly reduced investor confidence and tourist interest. Many travelers were uncertain about safety, accessibility, and the readiness of tourism facilities. For this reason, Malaysia must focus on rebuilding trust through targeted marketing campaigns. This includes partnering with global tourism organizations, engaging in digital campaigns, and highlighting Malaysia as a safe, organized, and attractive destination for both leisure and business tourism. A clearer, more consistent marketing message will help Malaysia compete with neighboring countries and regain its international audience. The third recommendation is to enhance the overall quality of tourism services, especially at major hotspots. Visitors today seek meaningful, unique, and high-quality experiences. By offering more diverse attractions, such as cultural experiences, ecotourism, and niche tourism products, Malaysia can increase visitor satisfaction and encourage longer stays. Improving facilities, strengthening customer service, and maintaining cleanliness and safety at tourist sites are essential steps. When visitors feel welcome and well served, they are more likely to return and recommend Malaysia to others. In summary, restoring global visibility, improving international marketing, and enhancing tourism service quality are three crucial steps to strengthen Malaysia's tourism sector. These efforts will help Malaysia rebuild its reputation, attract more high-value visitors, and ensure long-term competitiveness in the global tourism landscape. In conclusion, the National Tourism Policy 2020 until 2030 is not just another government document, it is a long-term commitment to transform Malaysia's tourism sector in one that is sustainable, resilient, and globally competitive. The policy outlines clear strategies that focus on digitalization, investment community empowerment, and environmental sustainability. If these strategies are carried out effectively, Malaysia cannot recover from the impact of COVID-19 but also emerge stronger in the long term. However, the success of this policy depends heavily on implementation. Strong coordination between federal agencies, state governments, and tourism stakeholders is crucial. Equally important is digital readiness because today's travelers compare, plan, and book everything online. Without embracing digital technology, Malaysia risks falling behind. Local communities must also be actively involved and empowered because they are the backbone of cultural tourism, ecotourism, and heritage attractions. With continuous improvements and upgrades, the policy has the potential to significantly boost Malaysia's economic growth and protect the environment at the same time. If Malaysia remains committed, the national tourism policy can truly reshape the tourism landscape, create more inclusive opportunities, and strengthen the country's brand as a must-visit global destination. Lastly, the policy is a long-term investment for Malaysia's people, nature, and economy. And with proper execution, it can guide the nation confidently toward becoming a leading tourism destination by year 2030. Thank you. As citizens of Malaysia, we all play an important role in supporting the National Tourism Policy 2020 until 2030. The success of this policy does not rely only on the government or the tourism industry, but also on the actions and attitudes of every Malaysian. The first way we can contribute is by traveling locally. Exploring our own country helps boost domestic tourism, especially in rural areas and smaller towns that depend heavily on visitor spending. By choosing local destinations for holidays, weekend trips, or even short getaways, we have great jobs, generate income for local businesses, and strengthen the overall tourism economy. Second, we can promote Malaysia on social media. In today's digital world, social media plays a huge role in shaping travel decisions. By sharing photos, videos, and positive experiences for our trips within Malaysia, we help showcase the beauty and diversity of our country to the world. Even simple posts can inspire international tourists to visit Malaysia and explore what our country has to offer. The third way is by not littering and respecting nature. Malaysia is known for its forests, beaches, islands, and unique wildlife. To protect these natural attractions, we must practice responsible tourism. This includes throwing rubbish in proper bins, avoiding damage to natural sites, and behaving respectfully in cultural or heritage locations. When we take care of our environment, we help ensure that future tourists and future generations can still enjoy these places. Lastly, we should support the local tourism sector. This can be done by choosing local homestays, buying local products, dining at local restaurants, and participating in community-based tourism activities. Supporting local businesses helps strengthen Malaysia's tourism value chain and ensures that the economic benefits reach the communities who need them most.